Hey, welcome back to Black Lab Garage. Today I'm going to try something. I don't know if it's an old wives' tale, if it actually works, or how well it works, but you see this old rusty Holley Carburetor? I literally found it in the bottom of a bucket of water. You can see, it's pretty sad shape. But it's kind of rare. It's an old Holley Economaster 2-barrel. So we're going to see if we can boil it in pine saw and bring it back to life. Who knows if it'll work. You ready? Come on, let's get into it. You can see how rusty it is. The throttle's stuck. It's in sad shape. But we're going to try to bring it back to life because I need to put it on my white truck to replace the wonton motorcraft carburetor that somebody put on it. So, first of all, let's get this thing blown apart. Alright, here's one thing about it. I like Holley carburetors. I know some of you out there right now is like, why don't you use an old motorcraft? Well, if I had a good original motorcraft or Autolite, I would. I like those carburetors. A lot of people don't know, actually, Holley designed the 2100 and 4100 series for Ford. So even if I use one of those, really, technically, I'm still using a Holley. But those really are good carburetors. But on my 4-wheel drive, I've got a 500 CFM Holley 2-barrel on it. Man, look at that. And, well, I want to try to use it. Ugh. Got all that lovely white corrosion in it. Because when I say this was in the bottom of a bucket of water, I'm not exaggerating. It was literally in the bottom of a bucket of water. I actually think if it had been exposed to more air, it would be rustier than what it is now. So the bucket of water might have saved it. The Economaster carbs were made as replacements, not just for Ford. They made them for all the big three. But they were supposed to give you better fuel mileage and give you the throttle response of fuel injection, is what they claimed. And the reason being because of the boosters. Give me one second here and I'll show you the boosters. Because outside the boosters, they're identical to all the other 2300 Holley carburetors. As far as I know anyway. I don't know of any other difference. Why am I laying down? I need to put them in there. But talking about the 500, it's on my 4-wheel drive. It's actually a circle track carburetor. It's one of those that has the butterflies drilled and everything to help with the idle for big cams and stuff. And it really runs good on there. Now the boosters I was telling you about, see how they're star shaped? To my knowledge, these were the only Holley carburetors to ever have that. That and these have a bowl vent right there. So I'm going to finish taking this apart. So far all of it's came apart fairly easy. Here's the part that'll tell it all. See, I tried running this carburetor once, and it was actually on that 4-wheel drive of mine. And I thought the carburetor wasn't no good. So I took it off, and come to find out, it was actually, the fuel pump was no good. The fuel pump worked, but it was just it was an Airtex pump. And what would happen is, if you cut the truck off, and I'm not talking about setting for months at a time, if you just let it sit for a few days, it let all the fuel run out of the line back to the tank. You know, and I put this on there and I crank and crank and crank and it wouldn't, and I blame the carburetor. I mean, it's been years ago, but it wasn't the carburetor's fault. So, you know, I found that out later after I changed to that 500 and it still did the same thing. Well, we're going to find out how bad it is. Well, it must be pretty bad because it won't even come apart. Let me get a hammer. It definitely ain't the blue non-stick gaskets on there. Huh, look there. I never noticed that. Made in Japan. I never knew Holley made carburetors in Japan. Not back in, because this would have been from the 70s or so. You know what? It actually don't look that bad. I'm surprised. So I'm being serious when I say I think being submerged in water is actually what saved it. Where if it just been wet and then got dry and then wet again, that probably would have been a death sentence for it. I think if I can get these throttles unstuck, it might run again. Okay. Well, what size jets in there? Can't read it. Actually, I mean, it's really not that bad. It don't take a lot to impress me, okay? Alright. Got everything tore apart and in a pot. Now we'll just add the pine saw to it. Maybe I should have bought 2 jugs. Yeah, that covers most of it. Besides, I'll turn the parts a little bit while it's boiling, but I've got it on a hot plate out here. I'm doing it outside, obviously, but I've got a hot plate under it. So now we just wait on it to start boiling. See what it does. Soup's on. Anybody want a bite? I see stuff coming off of it already. It still ain't come to a boil. Well, I mean, I can see a little bit of it bubbling, so it ain't come to a hard rolling boil, but I can see stuff coming off of it. It's been in there about 30 minutes now. So we're going to give it a while longer, though. Well, after about an hour in there, I have to say, it works pretty dang good. I did rinse the pine saw off of it some. I mean, it's got a lot of that off, and the rest of it, if I just take a brush to it, it would come off easy. So I want to give it another rinse with water and blow it off. But I'm actually impressed. Look here, remember the choke was stuck? I'll oil it up, work it back and forth, but it's okay. Even better, remember the throttle was stuck? Well, first off, look how clean that come. But look. So I guess the heat does wonders for it. I liked it so much, I've got an old Motorcraft in there right now. So I'm gonna give these a brush and another quick rinse, and then blow them off. Alright, now I'm just gonna take some water. I'm gonna put some baking soda in it. Yeah, that's probably good. And I won't put these parts in it. And that's just to make sure that the acid's killed. Because if it's not killed, it'll keep on eating into the metal. So I'll let that soak for a few minutes and make sure the acid's dead. And here we'll get a good look at it now. I've got it all back together. So I'd say Pine-Sol did a really good job. I did take a wire brush to the linkage right there, but I mean, that's pretty much it. The only thing that's changed, I did take the cord plug out right here, because you can see the inlet's right here and it comes up. There's plug air, and then it goes over to the needle and seat. I took that out to make sure it was cleaned out good, and I just drilled and tapped it and put a brass screw-in brass plug in its place, and put marine JB weld around it. And that's still the original press-in plug air, and I put marine JB weld on it because marine JB weld is the only JB weld that says gasoline resistant. And I got rid of the hot air choke and added an electric choke to it off of another carburetor that I had, so we'll see if that works. Well, now we know. You don't have to have an ultrasonic cleaner. You don't have to have a bead blast cabinet. You just need an old pot, a Pine-Sol, and, well, either an open fire or a hot plate to set it on, because boiling it does work, and it works fairly fast. So now we know. So I appreciate y'all watching. Be sure and hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and me and the pups, most importantly, we wish each and every one of you a very happy New Year's. And stay tuned. I'll be back with another one. See yous.